local history in a moment. But first, a golf course might seem like an unusual place to explore the heavens. But during the warm months, the Peoria Astronomical Society offers the public views of the cosmos.
Northmoor Observatory is located on Donovan Golf Course in Peoria. It was the first public observatory to be built in Illinois back in the early 50s. The telescope was built in Chicago by the Gertner Scientific Company in 1911. The main lens was ground by a French optician named Octave Petitdidier, and he did a fine job creating the lens on this. In fact, Petitdidier was used, his services were used by other professional astronomers. One of the most notable is a guy named A.A. Michelson who made the first modern estimate of the speed of light back in the early 1900s. The telescope was built for a company in Springfield that made watches and clocks. The link between astronomy and timekeeping is very close. The observatory in Springfield actually had a small radio station that they used to send time signals to trains and railroad conductors so the trains could run on schedule and not run into each other. In the middle 30s, the watch company folded, the observatory was closed, the telescope was given to Bradley, and it was left in pieces around the Bradley campus for about 30 years until the early 50s when some of our members heard about it, approached Bradley and said, if you'll give us the telescope, we'll put it up and your students can look through it. We also approached the Peoria Park District and said, if you'll give us a place to put up an observatory, we'll have a public viewing program so that people can come out and look through the telescope. This is a 9-inch refracting telescope. 9 inches refers to the diameter of the main lens, which is about 12 feet behind me up here. The focal length of the telescope is about 12 feet, and that defines how much magnification we get out of the telescope. The various controls that you see down here at the end are for aiming the telescope, for focusing the telescope, and again, viewfinders, like just almost like a rifle scope to help us aim the thing. On a typical Saturday night, we have 2 or 3 of our members out here to operate the telescope, describe to people what we're looking at, help them learn a little bit of astronomy in a fun and easy way. Typically when some of our guests come out, they'll come in and maybe we'll have the telescope aimed at the planet Saturn. After everybody gets a chance to view that, they might wander around outside looking at constellations for 10 or 15 minutes while we aim the telescope at the planet Jupiter or the moon or something like that. Access to a large telescope to see the cosmos through is a pretty unique thing. When kids look at the rings of Saturn or the craters on the moon with this telescope, there's a terrific wow factor for them. They absolutely love it. It's free, and whoever wants to come out and take a nice stroll across the golf course on a summer evening can spend anywhere from a few minutes to a few hours we'll look at a variety of different objects each evening. What we can see is always changing. Different planets become visible or disappear behind the sun. The moon shows different phases. So there's really things to see more than once.
The viewings are every Saturday night from May to October, weather permitting.